You know, I don't remember exactly how and when I met him. Kevin's just always been there. He's omnipresent in our community. You know, when FCTV was a much younger organization, he was around and he was present. And we've been doing shows together on FCTV for at least 20 years.
Kevin and I met here at FCTV, and it's kind of funny because I was out at the base myself, stationed out there, and I hadn't run into him, but we met here. I think it was a program that we had started back then called Veterans Voice, and Kevin immediately jumped in to help out, and that's one of the things I really admire about the guy. He's always willing to help and do things that make the job better for the for the studio here.
I ran for district attorney, and through the running for office, you always meet a boatload of wonderful people. And after the election, they asked me, they more or less brought up the idea of doing a TV show. And I said, well, I got the name of it. I said, how about Falmouth First? Kevin was the catalyst, and he was so good with the different personalities and always thinking about what's best for the town, what's best for the, your own production, and he was just a wonderful person to work with and to stay in touch with.
Kevin called me up and said, I need somebody to run audio at the road race. It's a little complicated because we've got to interface with the other crew that were there. And he says, do you think you can handle it? So I said, sure. I really don't know how Kevin managed to pull everything together. Kevin was a star. How he found enough hours in the day to do everything he did, I have no idea.
Probably my favorite is the annual coverage of the Falmouth Road Race. Kevin always wants to get the personal stories, the stories behind the stories, and that's really what he has excelled at from a community media perspective for so long.
When Kevin was involved, everything ran smooth. Everything was organised. Everybody knew where they were supposed to be. There was always a crew. It always went extremely well, and I know that Kevin put in a whole ton of hours doing that.
Up until recently, he was still with the National Guard, doing chopper work, went to Bosnia, also was connected with the Civil Air Patrol. Here in town, he was on the Bikeways Committee for years and did a lot of work with them to make things better for the bicyclists in the town.
One of the big causes, and I think he deserves enormous credit for, he and the Bikeways Committee, was that Shining Sea bike path from North Falmouth all the way to Woods Hole. Thousands of people have benefited from that bike path.
Kevin is great with kids. He just has a knack, gets them to do what he needs them to do, and they respect him. And the Santa show has been great over the years. We've had some great kids that are probably, in their 20s now. They were little elves at one point, but now they're all grown up. And he's always pulled that together and done a fantastic job.
So I think all of us that are involved in community media do so because we want to tell a story. And, as the volunteers and the workers here at FCTV know, that story is told not just by the people in front of the camera. I, for whatever reason, have tended to be in front of the camera most times. But none of that on-camera stuff happens without the incredible amount of work behind the scenes. And that's Kevin's mostly been a behind-the-scenes guy. So we've just had a seamless relationship because he's so easy to work with. He cares so deeply about his community and his country.
He was a wonderful person to work with, and a tirelessly effort getting the volunteers. And, I wouldn't have had a show for some 15 years if it wasn't for Kevin Lynch.
When I came on the FCTV board, he was the treasurer. And he always had good ideas that came about, was very, workable. He was just, like I say, he was just a fine man.
Every community should have a Kevin Lynch because he allows people like me to tell the stories that need to be told.